Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Island Stats Cricket Show. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is my co-host this evening, Calvin Waldron. Well, Cal, the rain finally stopped, allowing cricket to be played, albeit three matches yesterday were completely washed out with Cleveland County and St. George's in the Premier Division, Somerset Bridge and the under-19s, and then that makeup. And then it was supposed to be Central County yesterday as well, where Devonshire Recreation Club were going to take on Western Stars, and those three matches were completely washed out yesterday. But today we did have cricket. Let me just quickly run down the scores in the Premier Division. Bailey's Bay won by 5 wickets over Western Stars. Western Stars scored 122 for 9 in their allotted 34 overs as the match was reduced. And Bailey's Bay scored 126 for 5 in 21.2 overs. The other Premier Division match saw St. David's win by 25 runs over Warwick Workmen's at Lords and St. David's. This match was reduced to 30 overs. St. David's scored 167 for 4, and then bowled Warwick Workman out for 142. In the first division, up at the Somerset Cricket Club, Somerset won a very low-scoring match by 4 wickets over Willowcotts. Willowcotts were sent in to bat and were bowled out for 91. Somerset scored 95 for 6. And then at the Devonshire Recreation Club, another low-scoring match, reduced to 40 overs. Devonshire Recreation Club went down by 8 wickets to Flats Victoria. It was Devonshire Recreation Club bowled out for 79, Flats Victoria 80 for 2. So Cal, let's talk. First we'll talk about the all-important top of a table clash in Bailey's Bay and Western Stars at Seabreeze Oval. Bailey's Bay won the toss, sent Stars in to bat, I believe. Let me just make sure. Nope. Stars won the toss and elected to bat. Kyrie Furbett was the top scorer with 20. Mackay Young, 18. Deontay Derlin, 13. There was only 3 players in double figures. They were losing wickets at a regular pace. With Bailey's Bay in the bowling department, you had McQuill Walker, 7 overs, 4 for 34. Dalray Rollins, 7 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 8. Kyle Hutzel took 1 for 16 as well. But just looking at that Western Stars score sheet, when they had Trey Manders back in the pavilion for 8, Jaden Manders without scoring, Jason Anderson for 7, Dante Wellman for 6. They were struggling right from the start when they batted.
Yeah, they got behind the 8 ball early and never really recovered. So pressure was on them, batsmen coming in after them to try and make a decent total.
Yeah, 122 for 9 and 34 overs was never going to be enough. When you look at what Bailey's Bay, Bailey's Bay started off, they lost the first wicket on the first ball, and Shirai Tavares was trapped LBW. Then they lost the second wicket on 9 when Coolidge Durham was bowled by Seth Campbell. And then it was a partnership, slight partnership. No, they lost Terran Frey 3 for 16. They were 3 for 16, and then it was a partnership between Azende Furbett and Dalray Rollins. Dalray scored 47 off of 27 balls, hitting 2 4s and 5 6s. That kind of swung the game back into Bailey's Bay's favor. But when he went on 88, the 4th wicket to fall, they struggled for a little bit. Then they eventually went when it was 102, but then they only needed 20 runs, and they had experience in Stephen Otterbridge and Rodney Trott at the wicket. Both of them not out. Stephen not out for 14, Rodney not out for 15. So those 2 guide them in. But when you have an experienced lineup like Bailey's Bay have, you got Terran Frey, Dalray Rollins, Stephen Otterbridge, Rodney Trott, you know, that middle order for them will help them quite some ways down the road.
Yeah, like I said, chasing the low total, it kind of played in their favor. So they didn't have to really chase the runs to go after the victory. So they were able to pace themselves at a decent run rate or strike rating and cover the match.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the conditions, because we've had close to 13 straight days of rain. Having the opportunity to prepare a strip would have been a big challenge for, and a decent strip would have been a big challenge for some of the groundsmen. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think the only day we did have a break was Wednesday. And since then, it's been raining until this morning when the sun literally came out. So this morning would have been a drying time. Whatever got wet needed to dry out. So it would have been definitely the preparation of the pitch before the rain showers that would have helped produce anything worthy of betting decent or getting a decent total on.
Yeah, I mean, and we know Seabreeze Oval, it's going to be a little extra chilly over there. You know, even with a lot of rain, you know, that's going to make it a little more difficult as well. Let's talk a little bit about that match that you were at, Lords and St. David's, where both teams come into a match winless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a must-win situation for both teams, as the loser definitely would have been relegated, and unfortunately that's Warwick today, because they went down by the 25 runs. In 30 overs, St. David's got 167. Ricardo Brangman was the top scorer, 53. Derek Brangman, 42 not out. McLaren Lowe, 22. Shannon Rayner, 18. Those were the first four. Justin Vett without scoring, and Mikhail Crockwell was 13 not out. In looking at it, did you think 167 was a reachable target for Warwick?
Well, to fall by 25 runs, I would say it was reachable. They probably need to analyze where they went wrong to fall be that close. And once again, the extras was pretty reasonable, 19, 15 wide. So it was really the St. David's betting. I didn't see the St. David's innings. I caught the second innings of the match. So when you look at Ricardo, 53 from 50 balls, and Derek, 42 from 32 balls. So, you know, that must have been a good partnership right there.
Right. Yeah, because they took the score from 80 for two
to 130.
130. Yeah.
So that was
50 partnership. Yeah. And then, of course, then it was Warwick's turn to bat. And, you know, getting a good start was important. But they lost a wicket with the score on 1. Then they lost Tracy when they were on 21. Sergio went when they were 23. There was a stand between
Malachi and
Luke Horan. It took him up to 86 before Luke went. And then when Malachi went with the score on 90, I think most would have said, okay, that's it. But then Stephen Dill came in, got 25 off of 13, 3 4s, 2 6s.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think they would have needed Corey Bridges to hang around as well, but he got run out. Which would have, and once Stephen went when the score was 121.
But they had 3 runouts. They had 3 runouts in the innings from Sergio, Corey, and a Johnny. So that kind of never gave them a chance to really settle down and get the batsman in that needed to get in.
Yeah. And all 3 runouts were in single digits.
Yeah.
So unfortunately for Warwick, you know, they go down. It's going to be interesting to see which other team makes the drop with them. You know, they've been up for 1 season. I personally thought they were going to do a lot better than what they've done with the inclusion of Crazy in the lineup, along with Malachi. But I just don't think they've gotten that batting lineup. And Doc and Line talk about it a lot. The batting lineup, I don't think they've got it right yet.
Yeah, it's hit or miss, and so far it's been a miss. People haven't got stuck in and made runs, so that's kind of backfired on them.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk First Division cricket. We'll be right back.
Putting down the weapons.
You seen this? John Barrett & Son is bringing us something fresh and exciting for the new year. Bai Antioxidant Infusion Beverage. Bai delivers the natural antioxidant benefits of the coffee fruit in glorious combination with a variety of exotic fruit flavors, with only 1 gram of sugar and 10 calories per bottle. The folks at Bai are inviting us on a world tour through these amazing flavors. Brasilia blueberry, Zambia Bing cherry, Costa Rica clementine, Malawi mango, Panama peach, Ipanema pomegranate, Kupang strawberry kiwi, and more. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
And welcome back. Well, up at the Somerset Cricket Club, Cal, Somerset won by 4 wickets in a very low-scoring match. They bowled Willicots out for 91. Kamal Bashir was the top scorer with 23. Dwight Baston, 21. They only had 2 other players in double figures. But what was impressive was Somerset only gave up 6 extras, 2 wides, 3 leg byes, and 1 bye. 6 extras they bowled 36 overs.
36 overs, yeah.
That's kind of remarkable because we've seen teams struggle with the extras.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably been some of the differences in matches for some teams. But, that discipline of just 6 extras says a lot about what Jeff and Gennaro are doing with that team up there.
Yeah, it says a lot, for the bowlers as well. 2 wide delivers. So
Yeah.
the other extras were late byes and byes. So that was the onus on the wicketkeeper for the byes, but the late byes is just hitting the batsman and the running.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the problem with Willicots was they'll get a start and then they'll lose a couple of quick wickets, and then they'll get another start and they lose a couple of quick more wickets. So, that it got tough for them. You look at Jordan De Silva, 7 overs, 3 maidens, 3 for 10. Greg Mabry, 6 overs, 3 for 16 with a maiden. Isaiah Richardson, 7 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 13. Azar Morrissey, 5 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 24. Gennaro Tucker, 6 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 9. I mean, the bowlers were very, very disciplined today for Somerset.
Yep,
However,
that was out of those 30 overs, there were 10 maidens. So there were 10 overs they didn't score.
Yeah. Yep.
And the run rate was only 2.5 as it was.
Right.
So,
yeah.
They were really struggling to get runs. I don't know how the wicket played or the condition of it, but
I was there. I was there for some of Willicots' inning. The wicket, it was a little slow, as expected. It was still drying out when the game started. But the bowlers really, really The Somerset Bowlers were really, really disciplined, and their fielding was pretty good as well. I mean, there were times where batsmen wanted to take a single but just couldn't because the fielding was, that extra special, I guess, because when you play your neighbors, you pick up your game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then plus with the grass, I mean, if some fields weren't cut, then the grass was actually a little bit heavy, so
Right.
the balls probably weren't going as
Yeah.
fast as normal.
Right. But then the one concern this week for Somerset was their batting. I mean, we've been talking all season about the numbers they've been putting up. Today was I wouldn't say a failure. Today was a lesser of a performance with the bat for quite a few of their batsmen who have been making runs. Amari Abbott out for 2. Matt Watson out for 14. L.J. Richardson out for 30. Dominic Sabir out for 10. Jamal Proctor, who's been on fire, out without scoring. Albert Tees out for 4. Isaiah Richardson was 21 not out, and Gennaro Tucker was 3 not out, and they crossed the score. But Proctor's been, I believe this will be this will probably be his first knock of the season because he's been amongst the runs all year.
Yeah. I dropped him down, so I guess I figured out the opening partnership, and because he didn't bat last week at all.
No, he was due to be the next person in.
Yeah, so
yeah,
he's got to learn to make runs farther down now.
I mean, yeah, or do you take an on-form man and move him out of position?
Well, that's a tactic the coaches would have to discuss.
Right.
It worked for him in the other matches, so maybe you put him back up there and see how that goes.
Yeah. And the other thing was he's missed back-to-back weekends of playing with the under-19s because he usually plays on Saturdays with the under-19s. That match wasn't played yesterday, and then he goes and continues the form. But I guess without that rhythm, he didn't have any luck this week.
Yeah. Get a little purple patch, so hopefully he gets out of it. And
Sure. That's why we play the sport. Yeah. The other first division match got underway about 12:30 as at Devonshire Recreation Club. Flax Victoria won the toss and sent Devonshire Rack to bat. Rack was all out for 79. Gerald Simons 13, Derwin Adams 23, Kentaro Bean 8, and Kuma Kennener out without scoring run out. Juwande Bascom 10, Lorenzo Simmons 1, Dion Bowl 5, Shaquille Pitcher 1, Aljamain Zul not out on 3, Laniko Millet out for 3, and Zakari Miners out without scoring. When you only have 2-3 batsmen in double figures, and then the wides are 10 as well, and you're only getting 79, it's got to be a worrying time for Devonshire Rack.
Yep, and there's low double figures as well. So Gerald hung around a bit, 13 out of 50. So I guess the application was there, but it just wasn't able to score.
Right.
Other than that, nobody really used up any balls.
Right, because him and Derwin put on 38 runs for the first wicket in 7.5 overs.
And
they were all out, 20 overs later. You had Kaiwan Franks, 3 for 5 over 2.2. Kevin Hurdle, 3 for 15 off of 5. Paul Carr Harvey, 2 for 7 off of 8. That included 5 maidens. Wow. 5 maidens. 8 overs, 5 maidens.
He builds stump to stump.
Yes.
He builds stump to stump. So he's that type of bailer.
Yeah. If you're not prepared to move your feet, you're going to get stuck in there. In reply, they got Detroit Smith with 40 not out. They lost 2 wickets getting to the total. Hurdle was out without scoring on the second ball of the game, his first ball. Shaquille Pitcher took 2 wickets, 5 overs, 2 for 20. Flats, they've had kind of a rocky start to the season. They didn't play the first game. The wicket up White Hill wasn't ready. I think they lost their second game, and then they picked up a win today. If they want to get into the Premier Division, it's going to be a big challenge for them.
Yeah, but I think the game's going, it kind of favors them more than anybody else. When you look at everybody else in that division, haven't really strung any form to be of any competition. So
Right.
hopefully the luck favors them and they're able to be the second team to come up.
Yeah. Well, Somerset would have won the league today.
Yeah.
Because they are undefeated and they only have one game left, and that's against the under-19s. So they would have won the game and taken the first promotion spot. So that's just which team is in line for that second spot. In coming few weeks, see who goes up with them.
Yep. So hopefully things favor will go in anybody's favor, but hopefully things go towards their favor. No more
Sure.
rain, and they actually get to play matches.
Yeah. Well, that's the key, actually playing matches. We're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, I want to talk to you about how these teams are playing this 50-over division as opposed to how they would attack the 20-over division. We'll be right back.
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
Circus putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
Here's one of our favorite feature brands, true veterans of the food awareness movement. Bob's Red Mill, the U.S. leading miller of organic whole grain foods. Only whole grains have the entire value developed during growth. And once you try them, you know that this is the way food was intended to be. Try Bob's Red Mill blanched almond, whole wheat pastry, and artisan bread flours, and 1-to-1 gluten-free baking flour, unsweetened shredded coconut, gluten-free homemade wonderful bread mix, and a variety of rolled oats. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. I bring that up, Cal, because I look at a team like a Warwick, who's, if you look at it, the players that they have when they have the bats in their hand are set up more so for T20 than a 50-over division. But how important is it to get the batting lineups right when it's T20 as opposed to the 50 overs?
I think it's a combination of both, the batting lineup and the mental aspect of the game. How do the players approach it? So for them, T20 may favor them, that the batsman may go out there and I ain't got time to get stuck in and make runs. I got to make them now. So there's no guarantee that those that haven't made runs will make runs. So the onus still is on those that are there to see the innings through.
Right. You look at a team like what Cleveland's been able to get back in the helm for their season. I mean, that team is set up for both formats, 50 overs and the T20. And if you look at it, the Unstoppable hasn't betted much, and neither has Alan Douglas, and they're still winning.
Yeah, they have the luxury of switching guys around. So, they're pretty good that they have a balanced team to go either way in both formats, 50 overs and the T20, that they could switch guys around and still be consistent in making runs.
Yeah. What would you say the inclusion of Delray Rollins in the Bayless Bay team, what does that do for that team?
I think it gives them a bit of variety, a different approach to things in the bowling department and the batting department. It's how does he approach it, considering that, it's her. What do I do, or what am I trying to get out of this? Am I trying to really prove something, or am I trying to assist the team and help the team and show them something different?
Right. Well, you got a coach like Gus Logie at the helm demanding change, and I think that's working so far. And now you include a Delray Rollins coming from a professional background, and bringing that approach to it can only help the entire program, and hopefully, the younger ones, take the information given by both of those guys, and grow with it.
Yeah, it's good for the environment. It's good for the group of players, and hopefully, it's a learning environment for this. Even some of the senior players could be something simple that is said or done that could help to improve their game.
Yeah, definitely. Well, last week we announced the player of the week, and we're going to have a presentation on Friday with those players. But we want to get to the players of the week for this week. So, in the Devonshire Rack match, you had Detroit Smith 40 not out off of 28. You had Kaiwan Franks 2.2 overs, 3 for 5. Kevin Hurdle 3 for 15. In the match of Somerset and Willowcotts, you had Jordan De Silva 3 for 10 off of 7, included 3 maidens. Greg Mabry 3 for 16 off of 6 with 1 maiden. In the batting department, really, other than LJ getting 30, not much to write him about there. The Bailey's Bay Western Stars match, you had Delray Rollins taking 3 for 8 off of 7 with 1 maiden. You had Mikal Walker 7 overs, 4 for 34. And then in the batting department, Delray ran on to make 47 off of 27. It included 2 4s and 5 6s, and guiding them to victory. And then down in St. David's, you had Ricardo Bregman 53, Derek Bregman 42 not out. In the bowling department for Warwick, everybody that claimed the wicket claimed 1 each because they only lost 4 wickets. And then in Warwick's inning, Malachi Jones 45. In the bowling department, Isaiah O'Brien 2 for 31. Derek Bregman 2 for 39. So 2 stand out for me, and that would be Derek Bregman and Delray Rollins.
Yeah, 2 important matches for different reasons too.
Yeah.
One was to secure the championship, and one was to fight for survival.
Right. So yeah.
I'm just pondering and thinking of which way to go in regards to the play of the week.
Right. Derek
what did Derek get? 40 and what did Derek get? 40 not out, and what else?
42 not out off of 32 balls, 4 4s, 2 6s, and then he took 2 for 39. Delray 47 off of 27, and he took 3 wickets for 8 runs. I'm down to those 2. I think the 3rd wicket kind of gives Delray an edge.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm swaying towards that, considering his his innings and the impact it had on the match. Scoring the runs over 20 balls gave Bayless Bay that total, that edge.
Right. Yeah. So I say Dalray.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna announce Dalray Rollins as the Gosling's Player of the Week. Now, we've had some outstanding performances in June because we now have to have in May, we now have to decide the Player of the Month. And to be honest, only one player stands out.
Which little fella would that be?
And that would definitely be Jamel Proctor.
He had a good month.
He had a remarkable May. One I know a lot of people won't forget what he's been able to do with both bat and ball. So I would say with your blessing, can we announce that Jamel Proctor will be the Gosling's Player of the Month for May?
Sure, I agree with that. Maybe we need to go back to May and get him some runs.
Well, he just has to change his calendar at hand.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, buddy. We'll be back next week Sunday with another edition of the Iron Stats Cricket Show. Enjoy your night. Appreciate you.
No problem, man. Have a good one.
Okay.